Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for that gracious introduction. You're going to give me delusions of adequacy, I have to say. I am very, very honored to be here today. As a friend of mine once said, Richard, don't be so humble, you're not that great. I have to congratulate all the winners. It really shows their commitment to excellence, their persistence, and it really proves that successful people never give up. Well, I'd like to share with you some of the principles of why Pink's has lasted for 70 years. I know these are many of the same rules that the people that have won today's awards are following, because we all follow the same principles, whatever business that we're in. My parents started Pink's Hot Dogs with a push cart in 1939. And you may say, how does a business last 70 years? Well, let me give you a little bit of that history. In 1939, my parents were broke. They were out of work. And my mother was looking for a job in the Los Angeles Times and ran across an ad for a push cart and said to my father, you know, let's buy this. We can sell hot dogs, people have to eat, and I think that, you know, that's a way that we can make some money. And my mother said the push cart is $50. And my father said, where are we going to get the $50? Well, my mother said, my mother will loan it to us. And so that was really the very beginning of it all. And you can say, well, you know, what's the background? How come 70 years later, you know, we're a hot dog stand that sells over 2,000 dogs a day, 500 hamburgers a day. Celebrities are known to come to our place. Well, the first thing is that we own the property, all right? It was very interesting. In those days, my parents rented the site that they're on today for $15 a month. That was it. Hot dogs were a dime, Cokes were a nickel, and about 2 years later, the landlord raised the rent, and my father and mother said, my God, we can't afford to pay $25 a month. This rent is outrageous. They're going to drive us out of business. We got to do something. So I have to say that at that time, my mother and father went to Bank of America, so it is, and they borrowed $4,000 to buy the corner of La Brea and Melrose. And that's how they're able to stay in business all these years. So thank you very much, Bank of America. Well, as it turns out, my mother had bought this cart on La Cienega, wheeled it all the way up Melrose Avenue, planted it on the site of La Brea and Melrose, but there was no electricity on the site. And what they had to do is that they had to buy a 100-yard extension cord and plug it into a hardware store that was down the street, and that's how they fired up the push cart for the first 2 years of business. And so they continued to, you know, to operate it, and you know, when it really got down to it, the hot dog stand, I think one of the principles that they really followed was the consistency in food and consistency in quality. The same hot dogs that my folks bought from the vendors in 1939 are the same that we buy our hot dogs today and the same that we buy our chili today. In fact, right now we have 21 varieties of hot dogs. We have the Martha Stewart dog, which Martha created, believe it or not, the Lord of the Rings dog, the Three Dog Night, the Harry Potter dog. We're constantly innovating, constantly trying to give people reasons to keep coming back so that they don't get bored with buying our hot dogs. The next thing is, we've always focused on really good service. Well, how does a fast food restaurant give really good service? Well, to begin with, most of our employees have been with us well over 10 years, which is really unusual. And why is that? Well, first of all, we compensate them, frankly, above market. But the other thing that we do is that we bonus all of our employees every weekend based on sales volumes. We want our employees to always be smiling, always be friendly, have the morale really strong. And what that creates is all this customer loyalty. because people like to keep coming back, and they know the cooks, and they know the servers, and they know their names and so forth. So the extra money that we put forth in paying our people comes back to us in profit. That's the way we look at it. So what's the magic of Pink's? Well, every product needs a hook, and the hook of our product is the snap of the hot dog. Every time you bite into our hot dog, it snaps, and it's good and juicy. So the most interesting thing that has happened in the last 2 days, I have to say, is Michelle Obama, along with her daughters, Malia and Sasha, had lunch at Pink's just 2 days ago. And it was the absolute thrill of a lifetime. And it was really amazing. They had spotted Pink's like a week ago. The Secret Service checked it out. We didn't know a thing about it. An hour before they were to arrive, the Secret Service approached my wife and my sister and said, we're going to have a big important dignitary here, and we didn't know who was going to be. Was it going to be the governor? Was it going to be a senator? They said, we can't tell you, we can't tell you. 5 minutes before a whole entourage, if you will, of black SUVs showed up at Pink's Hot Dogs, they said, Michelle Obama is going to be here. And I think both my sister and my wife fainted at that moment. So everyone asks us all the time, why aren't you franchising across the country and so forth? And the first thing is that we really wanted to keep Pink's unique. We wanted to keep it special. We didn't want to dilute our name. We love the lines in front of us. It is a big word of mouth. But we figured out that what we should do is go where the biggest tourist attractions are. So we actually have 13 licensed Pink's operations. They're in Las Vegas. It's at the Universal City Walk and Theme Park, Knott's Berry Farm, the Greek Theater, Hollywood Park Casino, places where there's a lot of traffic, because we really wanted to go where we could be successful. We really didn't want to take any chances. But we went with licensees that we felt were as concerned about customer satisfaction as they were about profit, so that we wouldn't find that our products and our specifications would be at all compromised. So let me try to just sort of summarize. We make sure that our food is really tasty, okay, so that the product is really good. We make sure that the atmosphere is original and authentic and unique. We make sure the service is courteous and our employees have really high morale. We control our occupancy costs, because that's the way we're able to give generous portions. We provide our customers with these large portions so they keep coming back and they feel that there's really good value. We offer a range of products, okay, to satisfy all the customer taste, including Michelle Obama's taste, if you will. And she had a Polish dog with grilled onions, relish, and jalapenos, in case you're interested. And that's her own new dog, I have to say. We innovate. We're constantly trying to bring new hot dogs to the menu. We never stop promoting, I have to say. And we give back to the community with a lot of contribution to charities.